Welcome to the International Trade Minute, quick-fire trade news, where time is trade. We are your go-to podcast for rapid and concise updates on trade and law, designed specifically for busy trade professionals. Sponsored by Rydell Law Firm and prepared by seasoned trade attorneys, our twice-weekly podcast packages your essential trade updates, all in the time it takes to enjoy your coffee break. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, and join the conversation with a network of like-minded professionals on LinkedIn. Where time is trade, make every minute count. In today's episode, we're navigating through a series of developments that highlight the complexities and consequences of global commerce practices. From regulatory crackdowns to the intricacies of trade sanctions, let's get started.
First up, we're unpacking a major headline in the world of aerospace and defense trade. Boeing, the American aerospace titan, has reached a significant settlement with the U.S. State Department, closing a chapter on allegations of export control violations that have cast a shadow over the company's operations. The crux of the matter involves Boeing's handling of U.S. export controls, a complex web of regulations designed to safeguard national security by restricting the flow of defense-related technologies and services. The State Department's Directorate of Defense Trade Controls, or DDTC, levied a hefty $51 million fine against Boeing for a series of violations that spanned across license requirements for exports to sensitive destinations, including China and Russia, among others. These violations, which Boeing voluntarily disclosed, ranged from illegal exports to foreign employees and contractors in over 15 countries to the fabrication of an export license by a trade compliance specialist aiming to ship defense items abroad unlawfully. The scope and severity of these actions prompted the largest standalone civil fine since a similar case against BAE Systems in 2011. Under the settlement agreement, Boeing is not only paying a significant sum, but also committing to substantial improvements in its compliance programs. This includes hiring a DDTC-approved special compliance officer to oversee adherence to the international traffic in arms regulations over the next 3 years. This officer's duties will involve regular reporting on Boeing's compliance progress, a clear signal of the seriousness with which both Boeing and the DDTC are approaching this resolution. Boeing's response to the settlement reflects a company at a crossroads. Acknowledging the alleged violations, which predominantly occurred before 2020, a Boeing spokesperson emphasized the company's dedication to continuous improvement in its trade controls compliance program. This commitment is mirrored in the settlement's provisions for Boeing to invest in specific enhancements to its compliance procedures, aiming not just to rectify past oversights but to prevent future lapses. The DDTC's decision to settle rather than pursue harsher penalties like debarring Boeing from ITAR, exports, and activities underscores a recognition of the company's cooperative stance and efforts to rectify its compliance framework. This approach, balancing accountability with the opportunity for reform, reflects a nuanced understanding of the pivotal role companies like Boeing play in the U.S. defense industrial base, as well as the global aerospace market. As Boeing embarks on this path of compliance and improvement, the implications for the aerospace and defense sectors are profound. This settlement serves as a stark reminder of the critical importance of export control compliance, not just for the companies involved, but for the broader ecosystem of international trade and national security. Next story turns our focus to a recent development in U.S. foreign policy towards Latin America, a region of enduring strategic importance to Washington. A group of Senate Republicans has leveled criticism at the Biden administration for what they perceive as a misuse of sanctioning authority, particularly in the context of the administration's dealings with Latin America. Leading the charge is Senator Rick Scott of Florida, who, along with 7 other Republican senators, has voiced concerns over the administration's approach to sanctions under Section 7031C of the Department of State, Foreign Operations, and Related Programs Appropriations Act of 2023. The crux of their argument, that the Biden administration is unfairly targeting officials from countries that have been cooperative with U.S. strategic interests, while seemingly turning a blind eye to misconduct by officials from less friendly nations within the region. A case in point is the designation of former Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei for corruption. The senators argue that under Giammatti's tenure, Guatemala was a partner to the U.S., collaborating on security matters, including countering human smuggling and the illicit synthetic opioids trade, and supporting key U.S. allies like Israel and Taiwan. This action, according to the senators, is part of a concerning pattern where the majority of public designations made under Section 731C since January 2021 have targeted Latin American and Caribbean governments that have otherwise cooperated with the United States on various fronts, In stark contrast, the letter points out, the administration has refrained from using Section 73(1)(c) designations against individuals or entities from countries like Venezuela, known for its corruption issues, or taking action against former leaders in Ecuador and Argentina, convicted for corruption and bribery. Furthermore, the letter criticizes the administration for not enforcing non-proliferation sanctions against Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, following the docking of U.S.-sanctioned Iranian warships in Rio de Janeiro. The senator's message is clear. They demand the administration to immediately clarify the process and criteria used in these sanction decisions, accusing it of ignoring well-documented cases of significant corruption that undermine U.S. national security interests and support adversaries in the region. As we await a response from the White House, this development underscores the complex web of diplomacy, national security, and international trade that characterizes the U.S.'s relationship with Latin America. It raises questions about the balance between holding partners accountable and ensuring cooperation on critical security issues remains unhampered. This episode serves as a reminder of the nuanced challenges faced in the application of sanctions and the diplomatic tightrope the U.S. must walk in its foreign policy endeavors. As this story unfolds, it will be interesting to see how the administration responds to these criticisms and what implications this might have for U.S.-Latin America relations moving forward. Moving forward to the next news, we're peeling back the layers on a unique case that's stirring up the international garlic market. The Commerce Department has made a flavorful ruling that boiled and then individually frozen garlic cloves imported by Export Packers Company fall under the anti-dumping duty order on fresh garlic from China. Let's dive into the details of this pungent policy decision. The anti-dumping duty, or AD order, in question covers a wide array of garlic presentations, from peeled to frozen, provided they're not prepared or preserved by adding other ingredients or through heat processing. The intent? To protect U.S. garlic producers from unfairly priced Chinese imports. However, the line between what constitutes further processing enough to exempt products from this order has proven to be as fine as a garlic clove's skin. Export packers argued that their process of boiling garlic cloves for 90 seconds before freezing them transforms the product significantly. They claim this method reduces the garlic's allicin content, a compound responsible for its characteristic taste and aroma, making it distinct from fresh garlic. According to them, the transformed garlic cannot be used interchangeably with fresh garlic in recipes due to these differences in flavor and aroma. However, the Commerce Department's ruling was not swayed by the culinary chemistry involved. It focused instead on the broader definition of the AD order, which aims to cover all grades and forms of garlic, unless significantly altered by adding ingredients or through extensive heat processing. The department noted that while the scope of heat processing remains somewhat ambiguous, their previous rulings have included even minimally processed garlic, such as that which is blanched. In making its decision, Commerce considered several factors, including the garlic's physical characteristics, marketing, and consumer expectations. Despite the importer's arguments, the department concluded that the boiled and frozen garlic is still, at its core, a garlic product used for food and seasoning, much like the fresh garlic covered under the AD order. The department underscored that the mere alteration in taste, aroma, and texture due to boiling does not exempt the product from the anti-dumping duties, highlighting that the exclusion is meant for products undergoing more extensive processing, like roasting. This ruling sheds light on the intricate balance between protecting domestic industries and accommodating the complexities of food processing and marketing. It also underscores the importance of clear regulatory definitions and the challenges that arise when traditional categorizations meet modern culinary techniques. As the international trade community digests this ruling, it's clear that the implications extend beyond just the garlic market. It speaks to broader issues of how we define product categories and processing in an era of globalized trade and culinary innovation. For now, export packers and others in the food import business will have to navigate these regulations carefully, ensuring their products meet the defined criteria to avoid unexpected duties. We continue by delving into a significant shift in the organic food sector that's poised to impact importers and exporters alike. The Agricultural Marketing Service, or AMS, is setting a new standard with its Strengthening Organic Enforcement Rule, which officially goes into effect on March 19th. But there's a twist. A grace period is in play for importers to align with the new organic certifications required. Let's unpack what this means for the industry. The heart of this update centers around the need for importers to be certified under the National Organic Program to file new import certificates for their shipments. This rule aims to bolster the integrity of organic products entering the U.S. ensuring consumers receive genuinely organic goods. Jennifer Tucker, Deputy Administrator of the National Organic Program at AMS, shed light on this during a recent webinar hosted by the National Customs Brokers and Forwarders Association of America. Understanding the challenges and the time it takes to achieve certification, AMS is adopting a stance of enforcement discretion at the outset. While March 19th marks the official start date for these requirements, AMS acknowledges that not all importers will have their certifications in order by then. As a result, uncertified importers will still be able to file organic certificates at entry, albeit with a warning. This soft launch aims to ease the transition, providing businesses the opportunity to comply without immediate harsh penalties. However, this leniency isn't indefinite. Tucker emphasized the importance of initiating the certification process now, as AMS will gradually shift towards stricter enforcement. The certification journey involves several steps, from application to on-site inspection, and can span weeks or months. With the rule having been public for over a year, many businesses are already on their way to certification, if not already compliant. Foreign organic exporters face a slightly different scenario. While initial leniency is extended to importers, exporters must be certified to generate an import certificate. Initially, entities not designated as the final exporter may certify organic shipments, but AMS will tighten these requirements over time to ensure the final exporter is the one generating the certificate. As these new regulations roll out, AMS will also prioritize flagging invalid import certificate numbers and reviewing certifier control systems. This comprehensive approach aims to safeguard the organic label's integrity, ensuring that products labeled as organic meet the stringent standards consumers expect. Tucker also provided reassurance for shipments already en route by March 19th, stating these would be considered in the stream of commerce and exempt from the new certificate requirement. However, any shipments leaving the port of export after this date must comply with the new rule. As we watch this unfold, the message is clear. The time for action is now. Importers and exporters involved in the organic market must take proactive steps to align with these new standards, leveraging the grace period to achieve compliance. The evolution of these regulations marks a significant step towards protecting and enhancing the organic market's integrity, benefiting consumers and genuine organic producers alike. Today's last segment takes us into the heart of the fashion industry, a sector known for its glamour and high stakes, but also for the intricate challenges it faces in international trade practices. We're discussing a significant legal development involving a California clothing importer, Gacham Inc., and its executive, Mohammed Daoud Gacham, who have found themselves on the wrong side of U.S. customs law. Mohammed Daoud Gacham, the executive behind the Platini clothing brand based out of Bell, California, has been sentenced to a stark 48 months in prison. This sentencing comes on the heels of his guilty plea in December 2022 to charges of conspiracy to pass false and fraudulent papers through a custom house. But the consequences don't end there. Gacham is also ordered to pay nearly $4 million in restitution. The heart of this case revolves around the undervaluation of garment imports from China. In an attempt to dodge customs duties, Gacham Inc. engaged in a deceptive practice involving dual invoicing. Chinese suppliers were instructed to prepare two sets of invoices for the same shipments, one reflecting the actual price paid and another with a grossly understated price. This latter set of invoices was then presented to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, enabling the company to avoid paying the rightful tariffs on these goods. From July 2011 through February 2021, the scale of this deception was vast, with goods undervalued by over $32 million, leading to an evasion of nearly $6. $4 million in customs duties. This case is a stark reminder of the stringent enforcement of U.S. customs laws and the serious consequences of attempting to circumvent them. Adding another layer to this complex situation, Gacham Inc. was fined an additional $4 million in December for engaging in transactions with a specially designated narcotics trafficker, Maria Tiburcia Cazares Perez, under the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act. Though Mohammed Gacham himself was not charged in connection with this scheme, it underscores the multifaceted risks businesses expose themselves to when straying from legal trade practices. This case serves as a cautionary tale for the international trade community, particularly in the fashion industry, emphasizing the importance of adhering to customs laws and the severe penalties for those who choose to ignore them. It also highlights the vigilance of U.S. authorities in protecting the integrity of the trade system, ensuring that all businesses operate on a level playing field. As the fashion world continues to navigate the complexities of global trade, the story of Gacham Inc. and its executives stands as a powerful reminder of the legal and ethical obligations that come with operating in this vibrant industry.
Thank you for joining us on International Trade Minute, your rapid source of trade updates for busy trade professionals, and we hope to have you back for our next episode. Don't forget to subscribe.